Okay, I must have missed that. Um, what is your favorite video game that you play on your PS3?
On the PS3?
Yeah.
Well, my favorite game ever is probably either Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or StarCraft.
Mm-hmm.
And or Half-Life 2. Those are like my top three. I don't know which one is the best, but those are my top three. Favorite game for the PlayStation 3? I don't have a lot of games on it, actually. And I'm trying to think of... probably Red Dead Redemption. That game was really, really solid.
Yeah.
You're talking to the right people about Red Dead Redemption. I'm gonna tell you that. We were just playing it earlier today.
That game was incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, Red Dead Redemption has to be one of my more favorite games of its time, along with not of its time, excuse me, of its like type.
Of the sandbox variety, it's definitely like top.
Yes, sandbox variety, and then also like the time frame it's supposed to be in, like the early 1900s, I believe. And then like the only other game that really you can compare to that is like Gun, which wasn't very sandboxy. It was more linear. If you've ever played that,
I have not.
It's actually a really good game for the PS2. I would suggest it. It's not new, but it's not super old either, though.
So what do you have what's coming up in 2012 that you're most looking forward to?
I wish I had like a big exciting project, but honestly, right now I just kind of want to finish up the next couple episodes of Movie Night, which have been consuming my life for the past month. I mean, every Thursday and Friday, like it's just all I work on for 9 hours is just that one episode a week.
Wow.
And then the other 5 days a week, I'm trying to catch up on all the other videos I'm producing for my John's World channel. So I'm looking forward to, personally anyway, just doing a lot of traveling, going to VidCon in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I feel like I have another few trips planned. I totally I'm hopefully going to Vegas at some time in August, and maybe to New York in September for an extended trip. And hopefully, if I can save up some money, go back to Europe as well this fall. And as for like video projects and stuff like that, I don't know that there's anything huge I have planned. I'd like to get back together with Riley and Jory and produce some comedy sketches, but all of us have such complicated and really packed schedules that it's tough to get us all together. And we also live like an hour apart, so it's a process just to do one video together now, whereas in the old days it was kind of a process as well, but the thing is we'd get together once and produce 30 videos. Now we're trying to get together and just produce one or two because we want to make them bigger and better. We want to have each one be original, and that's a lot harder to do than just sticking something in the microwave, because that kind of wrote itself almost.
Yeah.
I think the one big thing, though, is I finally am going to edit together a 10-part documentary series on the road trip I took with everybody here at the Jogwheel team last summer. From July 1st to July 11th, we drove up and down the East Coast, and we filmed about 10 hours or so of footage, and I'm going to try to edit all that down into what'll mostly be like a feature-length documentary that I'm going to split up into 10 or 11 parts. Probably 10 minutes each for each video, and we'll probably have like 9 or 10 videos, I hope. That is the plan anyway, but they might be a lot shorter than that. I haven't actually gone in to see what we have for footage. It could be way less impressive than I remember. We could have way more to work with than I thought. But that's going to be a big project. That's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a few weeks for sure. So.
Okay.
Alright, so, on with the, oh crap, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. Have you been planning for any roller coaster commotion this year? Like any parks that
I would love to say that's something we're looking forward to and planning, but as of right now, there's nothing set. We're hopefully going to be able to contact some more theme parks this summer and get permission to go and produce a third season at a big park, either Hershey Park or Cedar Point, Six Flags Over Texas. We have a whole bunch in mind. It's just a question of which ones will actually let us film there.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the tricky part. I mean, we could try to sneak the cameras on board, but I'd really rather not, and I want to try to go and do it the right way and play by the rules. It's just not a lot of parks are really willing to do it, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
If you could get any park across the nation, what would it be?
Cedar Point, for sure. I mean, that's the biggest one. They got like 19 or 20 coasters and a dozen other thrill rides. I mean, that would give us content for like a half a year. If we got to go to Cedar Point, we could film 30 or 40 videos easily in like 2 days, and that would be great. And I mean, it's the biggest park, and it's also one of the best. I mean, those rides are the ones that people really want to look at, and the ones that people want to watch on YouTube. So that would be fun if we can get that park for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people think that you basically just sit around and record videos all day, but personally, and
I don't know, and I think I hear what you're saying. I hear where you're going, and I want to cut you off because I know exactly what you're going to say. The thing is, anyone who says that doesn't know what they're talking about, and I usually just completely ignore them. Because if they think that all I do is just sit around, then they have no idea what it is I do for a living, and that's totally fine. Because let them think that it's easy and that anyone can do it. The evidence speaks for itself. I am one of less than 300 people on the planet that actually do YouTube full time for a living. And there are 25,000 YouTube partners. And like I said, there's less than like 300 that actually make a full-time income from it. And what does that tell you? It's not as easy as it seems. If anyone can do it, but only a few hundred actually are, it's because it's a little more complicated than just sitting around. But what were you going to say?
I was actually going to say, but basically people just think you sit around and record videos and edit them and post them on YouTube. But really, like, I personally know that you do more than that. And so would you like to share about, like, what you do more, like, other than that? And, like, editing videos and stuff? Or...
Yeah, I will, I'm trying to think of the kind of the best way to kind of explain it. But I'll take movie night for an example. That I have been working on. The episode that was posted earlier tonight on my JPizzle channel was one I've been working on for basically the last like 2 or 3 days, really. On this episode 66, I reviewed Spider-Man, Iron Man, and the Incredible Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the build-up to the Avengers review next week. I'm going through all the superhero movies.
Yeah.
And I have seen all these films, but it's been 4, 5, or 7 years since I've seen them last. So this week, starting with Spider-Man, I watched all 3 films back-to-back in the last couple days. So that took 6 or 7 hours. And watching movies certainly isn't really work. It's not tiresome or difficult, but I do have to watch it with a critical eye. And I'm taking notes as I watch these films, and I'm thinking about what I want to say, what adjectives I want to use, what scenes I want to highlight, and which particular character aspects and, you know, directing decisions that I want to make note of when I speak about it in my review. So it is a little more involved than just watching a film, because I'm really analyzing it and dissecting it as I go. After that's done, I then sit down in front of my computer with my Word document open, and I sit and I write out these reviews. I script it out, word for word, everything I want to say. Careful not to repeat myself, careful not to reuse any adjectives, and also really focused on making sure that I hit upon every point that I want to mention. If I have a problem with the pacing, the writing, the script, or the camera work, I have to work all of those things in without it just sounding like a rambling list of bullet points. So I want to make sure it sounds good, it reads well, it's interesting, entertaining, and most importantly, it's informative and actually covers the entire subject I'm trying to do. And do all of that in less than a page of script. Get it all down to like a 2-minute review. And do that for each movie, all 3, every week. So that process takes about an hour and a half per movie. So I did 3 films this week. I sat down and wrote the script. It probably took me about 6 or 7 hours to do the whole thing, because it takes a long time to get over the writer's block and really pull together what I want to say. So once the script's done, then I have to shower and shave, put my suit on, get my tie ready, set all the lights up, light the green screen, get the microphone ready, put the camera on the tripod, line up the shots, and then sit down and read the script for the next 30 to 45 minutes. All of this, keep in mind, is going to be for a 10-minute video. And so that takes about probably an hour to an hour and a half to set everything up and to film and to get all the right takes in the right order without any mistakes, because that's one thing I pride myself on in movie night, is that I don't use any jump cuts. If I make a mistake, I do the whole thing over. I do a lot of really clever editing, so I don't have to ever talk on camera for longer than 45 seconds at a time without a break. But even so, 45 seconds is a big chunk of time, and it's not as easy as it seems to talk that long and hit every single note you want to say without making a single mistake. So once that's done, I then have to import the footage and then bring that into my computer, open my editing program, start going through and editing and chopping everything up. Then I have to go online and download the movie trailers, the movie posters, clips from the movies. I have to go and synchronize the audio for all of this, add filters, compression, chroma key, all this crap, and put it all together with 5 to 6 layers of graphics, transparency, pre-comps, all this stuff, and put together a highly polished, stylized, and entertaining package by the time I need to deliver it, which is usually later that night on YouTube. And that whole process, the whole editing and pulling footage, that takes another 3 to 5 hours. So, like, all told, I have a 10-minute video that I probably put about 20 hours of work in per week. And that's something I do every week. On top of that, I'm also producing 6 or 7 videos a week on my other channel. And those are a lot quicker to produce, and there's a reason for that, is because I don't have the time to be able to put 20 hours of work into everything I do. So it's definitely, I'm not just sitting down and talking about films. It's a very involved process that takes a couple days of my week every week, just for a single 10-minute upload.